Welcome to our presentation. We'll have this recording. We can share it out later if you want to review it. But yeah, ambient noise, just always be thinking about that. Think about what's going on around you. So a couple of the ways to achieve higher quality sound is your microphone, obviously. If you have access to a mic, use it. And here, I've got pictured a Yeti microphone. Those vary in price, but if you have the ability to add a microphone, it really increases the sound quality of your presentation. Even something as cheap as these iPhone headphones that I'm using right now will increase the quality of the audio. AirPods work as well, or wireless headphones work as well if the audio sounds good. But I just encourage you, if you have access to those, to try to use them because it will help out. The built-in microphone in your MacBook or on your PC will do a good job if you're recording at home, but the headphones will help out a lot more. It gets the mic closer to your face and it makes you sound more present. Also, in the classroom, we have those lavalier microphones, those wireless mics. Those are always important to use. Get that mic when you clip it on, get it up close to your chin as you can. You don't have to have it like way up high, but have it up, right at the base of your collarbone, kind of up close to your face. And the key is to have that thing pointing at your mouth or pointing at your chin to pick up your audio well. That'll really help the sound. A lot of people like to clip on a mic, and I'm gonna use my chapstick here as an example. Say this is the end of the microphone. You want that pointing up towards your chin. A lot of people clip it on and it'll be pointing off that way. Well, you're going to pick up the noise that's over that way, in addition to your voice, which will be a little bit quieter than you think it would be if the mic's pointing the wrong way. So that's really important to have that mic pointed the right way when you mic up in a classroom. The next thing about recording good video, whether you're in the classroom or if you're at home. If you're in a classroom, there's not a ton you can do about adjusting the lighting situation. But if you're recording in your office or if you're recording somewhere else, just think about your camera. Think about camera angles. Think about the lighting in the room. I've got a picture here. Even where I am sitting right now, I could probably use to prop up my laptop a little bit, so I'm not looking down at you the whole time while I present. The key is to get that camera at eye level, so you're looking people right in the eye while you're presenting, and it keeps you from having that sort of upshot underneath your chin and looking up at the ceiling. You see the wall behind you, that kind of thing. Another thing, if you're recording in your office or you're recording at home, a good thing to have, if possible, is just you can hop on Amazon. Amazon's got those LED lights that plug into your USB port. You can even clip them onto your computer screen, and that just helps fill in some of the shadows. The room I'm in right now actually has a lot of windows, so if you even have the ability to be near a window when you record, get some nice window light on you, make that lighting nice and even. What you want to avoid is that overhead light, and I'll get to that in just a second. But the camera, so your camera, if you're in a classroom, the camera in the classrooms is going to be a pretty high quality camera. The key there, especially if you're the type of professor that likes to move around, is, make sure you can see the room, make sure you can see the area you're going to cover with your feet in the class. So go over to that panel on the podium, zoom out, pan it left to right, make sure that we can see your full body and we can see you talking and using your hands. If you like to stay at the podium, just zoom in on the podium and focus on the podium. A lot of instructors, sometimes we see instructors will have a, really big wide shot and they're only at the podium the whole time. They can't really see them very well. So, zoom in on you if you're going to stay put. It helps your students connect with you better visually, and it helps people connect better with what you're trying to teach. If you're teaching you're recording in the office, or if you're recording at home, like I am right now, if you've got a newer MacBook or a newer PC, the built-in webcam on those are going to be pretty good, but you can do a lot to help it out. And something like a Logitech, like a USB powered camera that you can clip onto the top of your monitor is a good option. And even we've had a lot of success with recording with our mobile devices. If you've got a newer phone or a tablet that has a good camera in it that records HD video, it's going to actually do a really good job of recording video for you, even if it's in selfie mode. You can record in selfie mode where you can see yourself on the screen, or you can point those cameras at you on the back and just kind of sit it down and prop it up so it's at eye level and you're talking to your phone and recording. That'll give you a really high quality recording. We've actually had a lot of success with that over the past year, helping instructors record at home during COVID times when we can't come into our studio or come in to record something in the classroom. But just plan out where the camera will be and how you'll support it physically, especially if you're recording with a phone. There's a number of tripods, little cheap tripods you can get that'll clip onto your phone and prop it up the right way. Or if you're like me, you can find some books and a little gadget to prop it up behind it. Even those little office clip binders really work as a really good tripod for your phone if you can get it up to eye level. So that's a good way to go about recording things. Again, with lighting, your webcam's good, but there's still a lot you could do to help it out. Like I said, I'm in this room with a lot of windows. I've actually got some overhead lights that are kind of hitting me on the face, filling me in a little bit. I've turned off the fan above me, so I don't have those crazy, shadows under my eyes as much. But even if you've got a desk lamp, slide that desk lamp over closer to where your computer is and where you are to record. That'll really help fill in. You don't even you don't even have to try a whole lot. You can just move that lamp. I've got a lamp right in front of my desk that's in a really weird spot for my office, but it works really well because it helps fill in the lighting in my videos. The other thing about recording is backgrounds. You may notice right now I've got the virtual background on that's blurring out my background. You can do that. It's not a great approach for recording things. As you see, as I move around, the cutout around my head and shoulders kind of, dips in and out. It's not perfect. So just keep that in mind. But if you have it turned off, I would encourage you, keep those backgrounds clutter free. If you've got a lot going on in the background, if you've got something moving, even like a ceiling fan in the background, that can be really distracting to your viewers. So, just pivot that camera a little bit this way or a little bit this way to clean up that background if you have to, or move your computer. And that'll really help declutter your background. I chose to sit in front. I'm actually in front of a bookcase right now. I kind of like this pattern of the lines, behind me. It's a nice, easy looking thing. So that's one thing. Another thing is don't sit in front of a window. I could go over here. My wife will kill me for showing you this, but I could go over here and face this way, and you're going to see I'm a little bit backlit and it's hard to see. It might be a little harder to see me as I face this way, or as I turn around, as opposed to when I'm right here, I'm lit a lot better. So just think about those kind of things. Don't sit in front of a window. You can face a window. Facing a window is really helpful. And again, with the desk lamps, get them, if you got two desk lamps, put them at 45-degree angles. You can put one here and one here on each side and have them come in and the lights hitting you nice and even. Window light works well too at a little off angle if you can do it too. Let's see here. So lighting, again, your webcams do good, but you could help it out. Just focus on the lighting, practice, do a little test recording. That always helps. And then the newer tablets and phones work too. This picture here is actually an example of some of the recording setup I've been doing at home over the past year. You can see I've got my ring light pointing towards me. I've got my phone on the laptop that's recording. I could record there and get some higher quality video out of that. But that's just, it's a simple setup. Just take some practice. You can see I've got some books under there to raise that laptop up, get that camera at eye level. Another big thing, in addition to all the technical stuff with audio and video, is to plan it out. I encourage you to write up a timed outline for your video before you record. If it's something that's more involved, if you're just doing a simple announcement or a simple thing or something you just know verbatim in your head, that's one thing. But I do encourage you to write up a timed outline, have it on your desk when you record, even put it on a sticky note on your laptop if you have to, or up on the podium in the classroom with you, just so you have notes for each section. And you can keep an eye on the recording timer while you're recording, and make sure you're tracking your progress while you're recording and moving things along. So it's good to have an outline. If you've got time, just practice. If it's a big presentation, give it a few tries and go from there. You can, if you're using Panopto, which I'll get into in a little bit, you can record as many times as you want to, and I encourage you to do that. If you don't have time to practice, if you got to just run into the room and start recording that class, at least try to keep some notes with you for reference. You can even put them in your PowerPoint presenter notes like I've got right now, or on a sheet of paper with you. Just prop them up next to your camera or prop them up on that podium with you in the classroom, so you can reference them. I know that seems like a no-brainer thing. People are like, well, of course I know my content. Of course I have an outline for things, but you'd be surprised how many people forget that and just walk in cold and try to present. So that's always a good thing to have. So let's talk about recording your lecture. UT offers several options to record your lecture. For recording your lecture in the classroom, we offer the ability to do that with Panopto and Zoom. You can record lectures at home with Panopto, Zoom, Canvas Studio, and others. We highly recommend I recommend using Panopto instead of Zoom for several reasons. One is it offers higher quality video. It also offers the ability to edit, insert, and add videos all within the Panopto interface. It's a more robust editor than what Zoom offers. Lots and lots of storage space on Panopto. Think of Zoom as your temporary storage. You're going to get those email warnings that those Zoom recordings are going to go away. So think of Panopto as your more long-term storage, where you don't have as many restrictions on how much stuff you're putting on there. Also, Panopto interfaces directly with Canvas. It's connected in. There's a tool inside of Canvas where you can manage, share, edit, record content all within Canvas. And it makes it very easy to share that content with your classes. Panopto looks at how your classes are coded for who the instructor is and who the students are. And it can restrict content in that course folder to only those students, only they can see it. So it does a lot of the work on the back end for you with managing who has access to things. But Zoom's also great, for interactivity. That's one weakness of Panopto. If you're doing a live lecture and you have some students who are virtual, or if you have an all virtual audience and you want a lot of interactivity, you want them to hop on and talk to you. That's a great tool to use is Zoom. But again, the limited storage, fewer features. But I will note, if you record your Zoom recordings to the Zoom cloud, like I'm recording this session now, that'll automatically get imported into Panopto, into a private folder that's private to you, and you can share it out from there. So that's a little bit about both of those for recording in the classroom. Again, if you're recording in the classroom and you're just delivering a lecture, really recommend using Panopto because it goes straight to your course folder. You can edit it, you can manage it and share it from there. And it's all nice and tidy. So if you want to deliver a live lecture to a virtual audience, again, Zoom and Panopto are great options. Again, Zoom allows for interactivity. Think of Zoom as a two-way street, whereas Panopto is a one-way street. Zoom's going to allow the chat, the video sharing, the audience can share, you can do polls, all that stuff. But note that Zoom, with a standard Zoom license, you're limited to 300 people. With Panopto, you can have an unlimited number of people watching the live. If you do a live Panopto webinar, you can have a much larger audience, and it's going to be higher quality, but you won't have that two-way street. It's just going to be you presenting to them. There is a discussion feature within Panopto on the live webinars that you can use, but that's about it in terms of interactivity. Or you can pre-record your lecture. You can also, in addition to Panopto and Zoom, you can use Canvas Studio to record. Again, I think Panopto is the best option because of the recording, editing, sharing, and the integration with Canvas and the quality. Zoom's a little bit lower quality, and you have fewer options. And then Canvas Studio is also obviously directly integrated with Canvas, and I know many of you have probably used it before. But one thing that distinguishes Panopto from Canvas Studio is you can also share that content with that Panopto content outside of Canvas. You're not restricted to being within that Canvas ecosystem just to share your content. Closed captioning is really important. Panopto, Zoom, and Canvas Studio all offer automatic machine captioning, and they all do a pretty good job with those. Panopto actually offers the ability to edit, correct, and upload new caption files and even download caption files. And it's all within the editing interface. You can go in and edit your video and edit the captions at the same time. It's all within this single unified interface. It's not perfect, but it's pretty great. And I think it does a better job than Zoom does. And also the captions on Panopto are searchable. Anything you say out loud or anything that's shown as text on screen in Panopto is searchable. So the example I always use, it's kind of silly, but the example I always use is moon rocks. If you're doing a lecture in astronomy and you want to talk about moon rocks, your students can type in moon rocks and it'll take them to that point in the video where you mentioned that. So it's a really handy tool to have. Again, Zoom uses automatic machine captioning. Anything you record to the Zoom cloud will automatically import. And if it had captions on it, those captions will come along with it. Panopto won't reprocess those. And then Canvas Studio also offers automatic machine captioning. Really that's sort of everything in a nutshell. I kind of flew through a lot of stuff there. But again, with pre-recording your lecture in the classroom or in your office or at home, Panopto is a really great tool to do this. Canvas Studio and Zoom are also great options. It just depends on your needs and depends on your audience, where your audience is, how much interactivity you want, and really what you want to do after the fact with the file. If you want to do a lot with it in terms of sharing, editing, recording, integrated with Canvas, and higher quality, I recommend going with Panopto. Panopto also allows you to record with a desktop application where you can just do full screen shares, or you can record in your browser using something called Panopto Capture. And this little thumbnail here on the presentation is a example of that. That's actually in a browser. They recommend you use Chrome for the best experience, but Firefox and Edge work as well. And it allows you to share tabs. It'll allow you to share screens and apps that you have open. Basically anything that's open on your computer, you can share it in one of those recordings, and it'll appear in multiple streams. Another thing about a difference between Zoom and Panopto is, on a Zoom call, you're going to get, the whatever's being shared plus either the Brady Bunch window and the presenter icon thumbnail down in the corner. But with Panopto, depending on how you record it, and if you have any additional things you're sharing, all those will appear as separate streams in the video, and your viewers can click between those, which is really nice. So if you're sharing slides and you're sharing a screen share, your students can go back and forth between those if they need to, which is really nice. I'm gonna stop here and let Rosie pick up with doing some stuff in Canvas.
Yeah, if you can just leave that slide up, that's fine. Just to touch on Studio a little bit, very much everything that Adam said here, similar to Panopto and Zoom. Consider it like a one-way street as well, because you're just delivering your lecture in the platform, which is all within the browser window. There's a little application you'll be able to install from your Canvas account where you can screen share and record, either option there. It does have the automatic captioning. Like you said, everything's not perfect. You do want to go through and clean up your captionings. You can download them, you can upload them if you have them from another area. You can add in YouTube videos to the Canvas Studio. There's no limit on storage there. So whether it's a lecture or even a movie or a YouTube videos, you can upload as much as you want into your Canvas Studio. They can be shared between courses, so it's not limited to just one course where you need to add the video. The other benefits to Canvas Studio is that you can add quiz questions to videos. So if you got your lecture done and you want to make sure the students are actually watching the video, as much as you can assure anybody watching a video, so kind of keep that in mind as well. You can embed quiz questions on it, low stakes, mainly like knowledge checks. You wouldn't want it to be like a full-blown exam, but that is a nice feature, not only for reinforcement of the content for the students, but just for your own benefit to see how the students are watching and if they are and how they're doing on it. The other nice feature that's a little bit different than Panopto or what Zoom can offer is when you embed that Canvas Studio video on a Canvas page, you can allow a discussion to occur. So the discussion can be between students or between you and the students based on the content that's being delivered in the video. So it just looks like an actual discussion board, but it's associated with that video. And as students go in and watch that video, they'll be able to see all the previous comments. from their colleagues as they're watching that video. So that's kind of a neat thing. You can build in some interactivity and engagement around that as well with that extra piece from Studio. But any questions you have on that, we can do a whole workshop on Studio, walking you through the process and how that all works. But all three are great tools.
And I'll add to that. Thanks, Rosie. I'll add to that. The Panopto does. You can insert quizzes in a Panopto video. It's not as robust as what Canvas Studio does, we've come to find, but it's a very simple tool.
Right. And I would say the same about Canvas Studio. It's very simple. It's I think 3 question types, multiple choice, true, false. It's not a full quiz engine like the Canvas quiz engine, but at least it allows you to do it. It's a nice feature.
We've got about 5 minutes left. Any questions from our attendees today?
I have a question, just technical. How do you use your phone as a camera? I mean, how do you make sure that your PC sees your phone as a camera?
Yeah, that's a good point that I didn't touch on in that. There is a way, especially if you have a PC and you have QuickTime, there is a way to plug your phone in and it'll see it as an input. But really, I was referring more to let me open this up here. You would just be recording directly onto your phone. Oh, it's going to blur it out, isn't it? You're just going to be recording directly onto your phone, and then you'll have to send that video file to your computer. Or you could upload, if you have the Panopto app on your phone, you could upload that file straight to Panopto from your device instead. And then you would upload it to either Canvas Studio or Zoom or Panopto, and edit it there, and then deliver it from there. Any other questions?
I have one more comment that might be helpful to somebody, so they don't do the same stupid thing I did. But when you use the sign up to record in the classroom with Panopto, you better stop recording before you turn the sign up and the projectors off. Otherwise, it's not safe. I just, with Zoom, you can just quit and it saves it. But with Panopto, you have to make sure you stop recording so it uploads it. Otherwise, there's nothing.
That's a good point. Thanks for pointing that out, Marianne. Yes, that's correct. You do have to hit that big red stop button when you're done. And the other key to remember is it'll tell you when it's safe to close the system. And if you try to close it before in the top left, after you hit stop, this interface pops up, and in the top left corner, it'll say uploading and working on it. And then it'll say it's safe to close your browser window. And generally in the classroom, that's pretty fast. Unless you just recorded a 5-hour session. But because you're on a hardline internet access on campus fast internet, it's going to record that fairly fast and ship it off to Panopto. In fact, while it's recording, it's actually sending off chunks as you record, but it doesn't put them all together until you hit that stop button and it finishes that upload process. So just keep in mind that, hit the stop button and make sure you wait until the progress meter says it's okay to shut down. Dr. Bob took off. Thanks, Dr. Bob. He sent a note in the chat there. Anybody else? Any other questions? Well, as always, you can reach out to me directly anytime you'd like. If you have any questions about anything that I covered today, I'm putting my email in the chat. Or feel free to reach out to the OIT help desk. And if you have any issues with things, whether that's with anything, just reach out to the OIT help desk. That's the great starting point. And but again, we're here to help, and usually those tickets get routed to us anyway. So we'll take care of it. If you need to do a one-on-one session with somebody, if you need somebody to come into your classroom and show you how to use something, we can do that for you. Just let us know.